When I became really thrilled with the way these lights were performing, we both did, we became promoters for them. And I think this is the best made of the modern lights, the modern LEDs. So I've been using Nanlux now for about 4 years, and I've never had a downtime problem. I gotta say, that's super impressive with modern tech.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. So I am Dan Chuang, but I'm actually not here to talk about myself at all today. I'm here to have a conversation with my good friend, extremely well-known cinematographer, Rodney Charters, ASC, CSC. You've recently done a project for Nanlux and Nanlite, so maybe you could explain.
When I became really thrilled with the way these lights were performing, we both did, we became promoters for them. And I think this is the best made of the modern lights, the modern LEDs. So I concocted and we agreed to make a little short film in a house north of England, north of London. I had done this movie a long time ago with John Higgins, who was Roger Deakins' gaffer. And so I phoned him up because we're good friends. We did 6 months together and on a movie, and he readily agreed to come with us. So this is a little short on what we did. It's a dysfunctional family thing, and we had a small group of actors, and we just wanted to show how easy it is to do this kind of lighting without a generator.
I mean, I think, when I watch your work, it always strikes me that it's very natural. It doesn't feel artificial or forced. It feels like a real space where real people live and inhabit and act out their lives. And hopefully you can talk us through a little bit about how you achieve that.
You're looking there with your own eyes saying, how do I need to augment this? It sometimes looks amazing. Why don't we just shoot now? Well, the sun is going to start there, and when you're ready to shoot, it's going to be over here, and whatever was happening is gone. So you have to say, okay, if I need sunlight in this, it's daytime, or if I need night, we need to find a place to put the light. We need to get it up with the utmost efficiency. Most household interiors will need practical bulbs, so it's important to take over them, screw in our own LED systems, and then we can change color, temperature, and intensity.
So let's have a look at a breakdown of one of the scenes that you shot.
Any script that you're working with will have interiors in a home. We made an attempt to move through several rooms. This is a walking tour, basically. Traditionally, in a scene like this, in a house like that, you'd always start with big lamps outside, helping to augment what might be daylight, but in this particular...
This is the first thing that I do when you do an interior and a practical, and even on a stage set. You put up a big light outside from 20Ks or whatever you start down. Nowadays, with these lights, especially in this, we have the 5K. It's unbelievable. We have the biggest light. That's a 10K there by fitting two of them together. You're never going to need more light than that.
As we were saying before, you've lit the whole space. You've lit the whole house. So most people would just do one room, one room, one room, one room. It helps have a lot of lights, but
24 taught us how to do that, and it was minimalist, but practicals played a huge part. So we were always trying to get the brightest bulbs. We'd gel the bulbs, we'd put dimmers on them, all kind of physical stuff that drove you crazy. Now you could just screw stuff in and work it on a pad.
I think what we could see is how you use these things. Let's just grab that, actually.
Okay.
So what's this?
So this is a self-contained tube, and these become the #1 thing to do. These are a game changer because they come with a kit of magnets and clamps. Now, if you're in a house and nobody wants you to damage walls, you can't screw in, you can't do any of that anymore. You simply get the steel plate that comes with the kit, you paper tape it to the ceiling, and then this clamp, they're like this, right? And they snap on, they've got magnets on them. They snap in there, While you snap them around the bulb, you put it up and you slam it onto the plates. Usually use 3 of them on a heavy guy like this or an 8-footer. And it's there. They last half a day. If you control the energy level with a pad or a phone, you drop them down when you're not shooting. You know what it's doing. You wait. When you brought the cast in, you're ready to roll and action, you bring it up. And then at lunch, you change the whole tube. So you easily get a full 12-hour day out of them.
I think you have a little clip of this going on, right?
I personally like the difference between a cool exterior and the warm tungsten that you would normally have.
So the practicals, you can see everything here.
Tungsten color canvas.
And we still have a little bit of our own lights coming in the
Normally in a
windows.
situation like this, you may need to
So
put
these are the
tubes around, or you put tubes up above the frame to just augment and help boost.
I love how you're just holding it.
Gotta
So
come
stand
in.
it.
Yeah.
You're just
The
moving
wonderful
it.
thing about self-contained LED lamps in a tube configuration is you can hold them in your hand, you can move them around, you can push in and make an on-the-fly adjustment to cross light and fill.
Well, I think what's interesting is, and let's just go back to your previous work, that everything that you've done here to set up the mood and the feel, you know, you're doing it on a relatively small budget.
Yeah.
And it still looks every bit as good as what you were doing before with a much larger budget. In fact, we can show that, right? Do we have a clip from your previous? Oh yeah, so we have something from Shameless.
Well, we were doing very similar things on Shameless, but not with LEDs at that level.
Seems like it worked out.
And what sort of level of lighting package, what sort of cost and lighting package do you have here?
Our package here were 1x1 panels. So I tell a lie, we did have 1x1 panels by then, and they were I had chimeras on them, and actual metal grids, so that we'd have a 90 degree, 60 degree, 30 degree, and those were all above. It was a studio set, the interiors. So there was a ceiling if we wanted it there, but we'd move it and we could put lights up there. So that's how it was keying. And then coming in the windows were 1K pars.
And yet, what you're able to do now is just far fewer people, you're moving much quicker, and it's much cheaper to do. Is that fair to say?
Yes. And now we have the Pavo Slims and all kinds of sizes.
Yeah, they're these guys.
But smaller ones that you can put up, they have the grids built in, they have the soft diffusion on them. If you want to go hard, you rip the diffusion off. And you're more than 80% finished by that time, you know? After that, it's about giving the cast time for performance. You're never going to get your show sold unless it really sings as a performance. So stay out of the way, give them the space. But don't overlight. Make it simple, efficient, and give the cast over to the director and let them do what they do best.
So should we take another look at another clip from the UK shoot?
This particular scene, the father's about to leave home, and he's going to see his daughter, and she's quite upset about this. He must have known about it coming. So let's just take that bit higher so we don't see the head. And we should probably put one on the other side, just get a little more daylight coming
I
in.
think let it play, Rodney, because otherwise...
The number one job of a cinematographer is to maintain continuity in a scene. And if you take all day to light a scene, obviously whatever's happening outside the windows is going to change. This is why also many of these scenes are built on stage where you have constancy. If you're shooting on location, then you need to have a flexible light kit that will allow you to balance and maintain throughout the day the same amount of light. And in this case, we lost the sun and we had to just augment it a little bit. But that's always your case. The exterior door needed to be cross-lit for the knock on the door when he opens the door and comes in. And then when we started the scene coming through the door, her key light was all the 8x8 pounds. And we had a 900C in there filling that whole griffon. So she has a lovely soft wraparound, because the natural light coming in from that window had gone down.
It'll be 2 years next week.
We did have a little hair light on her that was coming off the mirror, so we had a 60C pushing into the mirror above the fireplace.
I love how that little light.
And then later, when we turned
makes all the
around, we
difference.
augmented that by using a light bridge, and we hit the light.
So what we had to do was we had to bring in the little light bridge because we changed the camera angle, and I saw the light in the mirror. So we had to introduce a reflector to keep that kit going. So you used to keep a light kit around for that kind of problem. When you run out of, you have to make changes.
Again with a 62, we put it in on an arm so that it was out of frame to maintain that quality of light where hair is just getting that little golden glow. And prior to that, we'd actually hit the mirror above the fireplace, so it's the same quality of light. We just needed to change the angle of it. So we did physically find ourselves at the end of days, so we did have to augment a little bit. We did have to put something into the background, shears out through the door. In this case, it had gone dark, and we ended up having to light the exterior. I always encourage production designers and set dressers to give me shears, because otherwise, if it's clear glass, you're in deep trouble. Pull a piece of string tight, we could hang it with cable ties. My standard approach to window light is to put a tube up so that we can get something of what's happening.
As long as I get a rim on her hair, and yes, that was the 4-foot tube. One of the great difficulties in lighting a film set is hiding the lights.
And getting them to stay where you'd like them to play from. And things like cable ties, relatively simple solutions. When we went for close-ups for the family picture and so on, we brought in another tube just to augment that so that we got more exposure. But overall,
if I have one takeaway from this, I'm
not a bright, happy moment.
It's cheating daylight by just putting these over the top of the windows like that. It's so clever.
Finding power. One of the fundamental changes has been to get LEDs that have their own lighting in them. But the fact that you can handhold it and it's battery operatable makes it very, very efficient.
The little Forza 60C, you talked about a light bridge there.
Yes.
I mean, I think a lot of people might be surprised. We were just using a tiny light like that. What's the thinking behind doing that?
Well, it has a lens system on it that you can shape and cut, so you can control the overspill perfectly. I usually have a bunch of lights like that. Now they would be 120 of the new color engine, and put the actual lens on them, because you're always getting near the end of your setup and you say, oh God, it's too dark over there, I would like to put a little slash. You whip out there and slash it, and okay, we're good to go. And of course, because they're full color engines, you could change the color and say, I wonder what if, oh great. And of course, one of the things that's possible now, because they want you to shoot so fast, and I've been doing 90-page movies in 12 days, you actually can cheat while you're rolling on the first take. You're still making very small slider adjustments on the iPad. And maybe the first take's a giveaway anyhow, the actors are just getting it together. And the second take, you're done. You don't have to move it, you don't have to take over the set and make a moment that gets recorded as downtime.
What would you say are the biggest changes that moving to LED has brought? So control seems to be one of them. You seem to have a much more control.
RMS, CRMS control on every light is essential now. And it's not a luxury, it's an essential. If you can't pull your phone out and say, the 12 lights that I'm using on this set, I don't want half of them, but those 3 over there, they're the wrong color, they're the wrong intensity, and I can really make the change while I'm standing beside the camera with my eye in the finder. My gaffer's standing right there. I say, bring down 8, bring it down 10%.
And I love the latest version of the Nanlink app where you can, just Bluetooth into a bunch of these fixtures.
Yes. So
even if you don't have the budget for a blackout system or a gaffer's control system or a high-end system, anybody, can for free download the app and use it with one of these lights. And achieve very similar results, right?
On your phone, even. On your phone.
And what else has changed, though? So energy efficiency?
Yeah. I mean, all of these lights, excluding the 5K, will plug into household fixtures anywhere on the planet. So you do not need to talk about Jenny to run a set like this. We didn't have a Jenny, and we took everything from the house.
But you shot it in a real house, right? If we go back.
This is the real house before we started. And yeah, I would love to shoot in it like that, but it's not going to last more than 10 minutes. So you've got the whole lighting.
nighttime scene where the daughter of the home has decided she's had enough and she wants to leave home. So she's walking out to the car. And so we have big, broad coverage of a location, and then some augmented lighting inside the car to simulate somebody opening and closing the door and getting ready to drive away. We've got a 2400B, and we've opened up the cob, so it's doing 180 degree spread, and we have it up there on a lift, and it was doing stirring service on a man lift, pushing across the whole of the house and all the way to the car, which is putting out basically the equivalent of a 4K HMI. We ran that light at only 30%, 100 yards away. That's transformative. Fortunately, it was raining, so it had that lovely mood.
You know,
It's a very cheap
We
lift,
had a little bit of
not an expensive lift.
wherever we did.
It wouldn't take the operator, but we
also
didn't
you
need
can see
it.
the blossom
you
on
know?
the trees from the 2400B open face, basically, without a reflector or Fresnel on it. So we hang that on the fan. Yeah, that's it. We cheated the light up on camera left to simulate a yard light, sodium vapor. Sodium has its own special color temperature, but that's a built-in gel, I think, in the gel pack on the Havo Slim. And we just changed the size of it with some black pack.
All these lights have a comprehensive gel pack of Lee and Roscoe built in, several hundred. And you can just flash through them fast and get a sense of, oh, sodium, maybe not sodium, maybe something else. You just played.
There's just somewhere there that it didn't have a nice shape, but that looks better. It's great.
So basically, you faked
Yeah,
what should, or look, you know, so the viewer is supposed to look like a household sodium
Yeah.
light outside.
And-
You've just cheated it and turned one of the, or a smaller one of these,
Yeah.
to that light.
in the old days on 24, we used to carry an industrial sodium light that weighed 50 pounds. But we would, in a parking lot, we'd just park it against the wall and make it stay there. And then that sourced everything that we were doing in that area. And we embraced it. Slowly, unfortunately, a lot of these lights are becoming LED and they're very boring. So we had lovely color contrast and changes that
But now you've
happened
got it
in the
back.
old days.
You've got it back now with the Pavo Slim, right?
Yeah,
You can do that like you wanted. And you know, just to go back to the night shoot, you know, you basically only got what, 3 lights on that shoot.
yeah, there were a couple of tubes above the visor that you never saw, but just so that, and of course, because we had them on dimmers, when she opened the door, they were bright, and as they dimmed, we didn't change the natural lighting that was in the car, we just helped it, and then we dimmed down accordingly so that the sodium would come in, this cross light.
And then you've got the big 2400, and then, you know, as doing all the moon, as the moon.
Yeah.
And then you've got that sodium light. That's it.
Yeah.
That's like 3-4 lights.
And 100 feet away, it was a perfect pinpoint, really sharp shadows without a reflector, and it was doing 180 degrees. So we saw the whole complex all the way back to the house.
That's what I love, the simplicity of that. You know, you've got one of the world's best gaffers, you've got one of the world's best cinematographers, you know, and then you're choosing to light with, you know, I mean, a lot of people would think if I've got those things, I'm going to put like 1 million lights out, and that's going to be my fix. But I love the economy of what you do what's necessary and nothing beyond that, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It's what it looks like that matters, not how many lights you had on your lighting diagram.
Right. So I've been using Nanlux now for about 4 years, and I've never had a downtime problem. I got to say that's super impressive with modern tech.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. A round of applause. Rodney Charters, ASC.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.